Hey, what's up? I hope you guys are doing all right. Yeah, I basically wanted to not have to force a topic or stay around doing nothing for a long time. But now that Death Battle's back, uh, I now have a good jumping off point. And there you go. So if you want to ask me questions about Ant-Man versus Adam, you have all the ability to. And if you don't, great. Another topic at hand. I'm gonna be only doing like this stream for like an hour or so. I won't be too long because while working on this current page that you're seeing on screen right now of my story is a thing that I'm trying to do. I currently got I think 7 pages rough wise done. There is something else I need to get to before the release of Street Fighter 6, and let's just say I can't work on that on stream. But I need to do something. So that's why I'm currently doing this. Happy to still talk to you guys. Now that I've already said, now that Death Battle's back, I will actually be able to do these more often. Specifically when a new Death Battle comes out, or if there's a battle in particular I really want to discuss, then I'll talk about it like that. While also not trying to overstep my boundaries because I don't want to get fired. Not really. No. Story. Let's just say Storyboard Pro has a lot of things that Photoshop doesn't to make things easier to work with when it comes to expanding or shrinking something down. Like while in like it's very straightforward. Actually, I don't know why I'm saying like Storyboard doesn't. I mean, Photoshop doesn't have it. It does. It's just when you're working in a workflow, it's a lot easier to, you know what? I get to start doing this stuff now that it's not bad. Hold on, let me turn this off. Just let me turn this off just in case something pops up that is not supposed to. I can just start doing this now to really show you how the process goes. Also, forgive me if I sniffle and cough. I am still apparently recovering from a cold that I got a week or so ago, a long time ago, in comparison to how long a person should be sick at this current point in time. There you are. And yes, I did like working on anime. I have to say, aside from maybe one fight that I'll have to get to later, every fight in this season is enjoyable to me. All right. Okay. Yeah. No, this seems good. Um. There we are. I would like. Okay. So I have a Death Battle fan uh uh rating, and I have a I work at Death Battle and I really want them to continue to like me rating. Uh so Ant-Man and Adam aren't, you know, Marvel and DC in particular aren't anything special to me on like a level of, oh man, these characters. I think only Spider-Man really holds the this is the character I really enjoy and like, and I mean like all Spider-Man. Like when I was working on Batgirl versus Spider-Gwen, Miles versus Static, that gets me because I love all the Spider-Men and Spider-People there are. But when it comes to like Ant-Man or Atom, they're not anything special to me. But the fight itself was fine. The fight itself was fun. The fight itself was great to do on the account that it's just a different. I think that's another thing about Death Battle. Is like every fight I do is somewhat different because of the characters I'm using, and this is the first real time I was messing with scale. And you also have to thank the directors and writers itself because I'm just translating text to images, and while I am capable of talking with the guys and giving my own take on things and even adding certain stuff to the fight, it's mostly just me doing my best to get the vision of the director out. This fight, while had a few minor things of okay, I have to work like this. Newton's cradle scene went through like I think 4-5 notes and revisions and differences. Like this whole sequence was way different like 4 times at the very least when it comes to angles and how I was messing with stuff. So stuff like that, but it's nothing too bad. And no, that's the whole deal with me. I actually don't like this is for Jack. I actually don't like making judo for stuff. For like character created stuff, I usually because Judo once again he isn't the main character. Like I don't think most people on my YouTube knows about this. Judo isn't the main character. Judo is not my go-to guy for basically anything. I know it's contradictory, and if you read the current story I have right now, it seems weird that I would say that, but it's true. Judo isn't a main character, so whenever I make a created character, I usually make Kaido, Judas, or someone else. This time around, I'm making Juvia, which is a brand new character brought into the fold, and it is part of the thing I can't really talk on stream and show stuff on stream for that sort of stuff. So if you've been following my DeviantArt or God help you, my Newgrounds, you understand where I am at right now with these characters. But let's just say Juvia is now my newfound favorite thing to draw. Character-wise, because she's just so fun. So when Street Fighter 6 comes out, I'm gonna be making her. And let's just say when the demo came out, I spent the better half of 2 hours trying to get it right. And when it was finally in gameplay, I still hated it, so I need to restart again. I hate characters creators that are so in-depth that every small detail bothers me if it isn't a particular way that I think. And even when I finally see it in motion, it's like, this is terrible. I like Hank more purely on the account that I know next to nothing about Ray except for the information given in a death battle. I didn't even know there are multiple Atoms. Do I have a mentor in mind? I do have a mentor in mind for her. I cannot say it out loud because it might give away a particular thing I'm doing on my Discord where I'm having people guess a certain thing. So if you're on my Discord and you know anything about that, then you have a hint on what I mean. If you don't, good, because you're not supposed to. Just know that, yes, the mentor I will extensively be trying to make a moveset out of will be very integral to how I treat Juvia as a character. Yeah, that would be funny. Because, yeah, really playing with size is the whole shtick of this fight. Yeah, the Newton Cradle bit was fun. This little sequence of them just popping in and out of being short and being big. It's also really good. And then, of course, you have the excellent factoid about ants and stuff. So, yeah, no, in the end, this fight is fun. If I had to place it on a pedestal of, like, season openers, this is definitely in the mid tier category, and usually when people say mid, they mean it in like a negative sense. When I say mid, I mean like it's good. It's good, but I wouldn't call it a Yoda versus King Mickey. I wouldn't call it a Dante versus Bayonetta. That sort of thing. But in the end, this is still a good opener. In fact, I think most season openers should actually be mid to just kind of great, because you're opening it up. You're opening up a season with a pretty good fight. So that means there's nowhere else to go but up, but there's also a way to go down. Yeah, a solid 7. I would even give it a 7.5 to almost an 8, because again, it's fun. It does have a little bit of a Lex Doom-ism, where a lot of the time it's like a kerfuffle, and then they talk about like either random ant factoids or how much smarter they are than the other. A little bit, but just like Lex and Doom, these characters, that's pretty in character for them to do, I believe. Again, I don't know nothing about Ray. I don't know if he's actually egotistical like Hank is, but having their little back and forth spat towards my brain is bigger than yours is still good. It doesn't take me out of the fight. It just makes it so that the one thing I do like about that battle is character interaction, and the more the characters can interact with each other, especially when they can talk. Because let's just say when it comes to Chosen Undead versus the Last Dragonborn, let's just say these two are not known to be very talkative, so it's going to be mostly action. Where the interaction is going to be more of just movement based, how they're going to interact with each other's abilities and stuff like that. But when you have characters like this, it makes more sense to have them talk, and I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah. I struggle with character creators a lot. Just a small tweak and those can throw. Yes, exactly. And that's kind of, I think that's actually why I didn't like my Juvia so much. It's just something. It's like when I first made the face, I'm like, that's a good face. And then the face was in gameplay. I'm like, I don't like this face anymore. Like, and it has something to do with the nose too, so that didn't help. DJ Tiki and his ability to basically edit, where it's pretty much just as good with his own personal style as the previous editor. And yeah, no, like editing's gonna be great. The rundowns, I feel, are the best they've been in a while. So yeah, I think the entire package of Death Battle is up to snuff, and instead of just hopefully people not just skipping to the battle sequence. Because, man, since I've been working at Death Battle, I see the amount of effort and time it goes into making the Whiz and Boomstick animations, and especially the editing of the rundowns. I really hope people appreciate the entire episode as a whole, instead of the parts that I'm, sanctioned in, and that being in the fight portions. That sort of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, and the whole thing is people tend to complain about Marvel vs. DC and stuff like that, and like, oh, these two shrink, they're known for their shrinking. It's like, that's kind of like the whole thing about Death Battle and like battles in general, is that the closer their arsenal of abilities, the more of a reason to have them fight, along with Marvel vs. DC has just been a thing since the dawn of time in comparison. Well, no. The whole thing. What I meant by Dovahkiin talks is not the. It's like saying Link doesn't talk. Link talks. Link has this thing where apparently people think he only grunts and kias or something like that. He talks. You just don't hear him. Obviously, these characters talk. I mean, in forms of interaction. You don't get like Forspoken, for instance. If you're gonna say that Dovahkiin talks as much as Forspoken does in their characters, you're blatantly incorrect. I don't obviously mean that these two characters don't speak. I mean that in forms of their games and how they talk isn't outwardly expressed. So you're not gonna get a fight where Dovahkiin is gonna be like, Chosen Undead, I seen you around lately. It's I get the impulse to be a smartass, but just know, if someone's being a smartass, I tend to have a complacency to I don't know, redistribute that smartassness with what I really meant. Because because a lot of people tend to actually get the wrong idea when I try to say some stuff. When you're on the internet, it's a constant gotcha, you know? So you always have to be careful about what you say, because it's always, someone's just waiting to type in, well, actually, isn't actually the chosen undead. If you paid attention, you would know it's the ashened one. And it's like, no, first of all, no. Second, I got into a conversation with Liam as to why we're not using like the ashen one as a thing. Apparently, and I didn't know this. Apparently, friggin' chosen undead is stronger than the ashen one. So I look, I only have a passing understanding of versus calcs and stuff like that. They're clearly smarter than me, so why not? Can reveal every imperfect. Yep. Oh, that is actually probably exactly it. Because when you're in the character creator, you only have like a particular lighting source, and even with that lighting source, they probably give you like what, maybe two or three more, and still, that's not gonna account for every single lighting source in the game. It's like, oh, great. The same thing kind of happened in Mass Effect, actually. Has everything been going good? Okay at work? Yeah. Everything's going fine. Like, I'm doing my job. I'm really good at my job. And they've consistently said that I'm really good at my job. So they could be lying to me to keep my ego in check so I can continue to do said work. And they just kind of brush me off when they get into their next meeting. But I like to not think that. And just believe that they just have genuine liking of my stuff. I still have a job, so that... And it's been like, what, 4 years or some shit like that? So, yeah, no, I feel like I'm doing good. I'm doing what I love, which is draw. And not only draw, but draw various characters in fiction and media that I have grown up with and love. And this is really just a great job for me. So, yeah, no, everything's going perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. Excited for Chosen Undead versus Dragonborn. Yeah, me too. As a solid Souls fan that has played every single game and actually thinks 2 is bad but not terrible. Especially after the DLC came out and stuff like that. I'm extensive From Software fan as well. And as for Skyrim, it has been a game that I bought at least 4 times throughout the course of its constant re-releases. Haven't bought it a 5th time, thankfully, because I think I'm actually done. But in the end, I still like Skyrim as a concept and as a game for what it was. And I hope for the best for Starfield and whatever the next Elder Scrolls game has in store. Thoughts on the PlayStation Store case? It was actually not that great. And don't, I think it's another 7, like maybe even a 6, because here's the thing: a lot of the PlayStation Showcase that you would think would be in a PlayStation Showcase wasn't in a PlayStation Showcase, because PlayStation has kind of, just like how Nintendo has solidified itself, even if it isn't true anymore, as the for everyone console that you should get. The Switch and Nintendo is for kids and families and camaraderie and stuff like that. Sony has basically come up with this thing where they are the first, they are the people to think about when it comes to exclusive titles. So exclusives and first party exclusives are really good. But here it's like live service, trailer that holds no other substance than looking pretty, trailer that holds up no other substance than looking pretty, trailer that holds up no other substance than looking pretty. Here's a Forza movie that you don't care about. Here's a Splatoon ripoff with foam instead of ink. Oh, wonderful. And so on and so forth. The only things that I was excited for is the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, and Spider-Man. But here's the thing: the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake was the most unkept secret of all time, because if you didn't know that by leaks this thing existed, you should know now, obviously. And Spider-Man 2, we already know Spider-Man 2 is coming out. Spider-Man 2 was scheduled to come out this year. It's good to see more of it, but I'm already going to get the game, so it does nothing for me personally as a consumer of your products. Now, I'm not expecting, like, God of War, the next God of War, because we just got one. I'm not expecting, like, anything, like, like Horizon or anything like that. It's just weird to see so many games that one don't have an official release date. It's just a trailer and that's it. They could only have that done, and we have another 4 to 5 years to wait for the actual game to come out. And for me, I hate that because if you're gonna show me that you're making a cake and it's gonna take another 5 years for me to actually eat it, I'm probably not gonna like it as much as I would if you just gave me the cake outright. Like Hi-Fi Rush, for instance, did this perfectly. Hi-Fi Rush was non-existent. It did not exist. And then it existed, and I loved it. So, in the end, it wasn't terrible. It definitely had some good moments and some good games, and I'm happy to see that Bungie is able to bring back an old IP they had for a while, but I know nothing about the game. It's probably another live service for all I know, or another Destiny clone. Since we don't know what Bungie has been making after Destiny, and Destiny 2 is still not dead. Yeah, meanwhile, Elder Scrolls, like Todd Howard walked up on screen, said, "Hey, here's a JPEG," and then walked off, and then we're supposed to be excited. I'm like, we're gonna get Skyrim at least another 4 times in our lifetime before that game comes out. So who cares? I do kind of wish they paid a guy to do drawing. I do too. I do too. That battle happens because Undead took a sweet roll. I wouldn't be surprised. Dude's probably hungry. Earth fighters are cool and all, but it'd be interesting to see some picks really out of the field, like Natsu versus Master Chief or something. Just see interact, call me crazy. You are crazy. Natsu versus Master Chief. If we're talking about Natsu from Fairy Tail versus a guy with guns, because again, you have to be cautious when it comes to this audience. I've met many different types of Death Battle fans, or versus battle fans in general, and that you have those who are okay with anything as long as it's a fun fight. Those who really will not like the fight unless it makes sense to them as to why they're fighting. And people who are very nitpicky about who they should fight, even if the match that we're giving them is appropriate. There are plenty of examples. I'm not going to list any of them off on the account, that I'm afraid I might slip something I'm not supposed to. But regardless, if you got someone like Edward Elric versus Aang, like, these two are, like, out there. You get the connections, kinda, but people, again, it all depends on the person you talk to. So, for me, I'm okay with anything as long as it's a good fight. Like, would I like a better, like, understanding of either background or power output? Yes. But if the fight is interesting enough, I'll put that aside. None about Dark Souls, so watching Chosen Undead on us, this is going to be quite interesting. It will. Dark Souls lore is Dark Souls lore. Let's just put it that way. Maybe 5 good games were shown. Yeah, that's not worth the runtime. How about that Gran Turismo? Gran Turismo movie? Is it Gran Turismo? I thought it was Forza. Regardless, I don't care. It's either a movie about cars or a movie about a person learning how to drive a car. I don't care. And it has nothing to do with, oh man, how dare they. It's just a matter of, I am not interested in races or cars. That's just me as a person. As an individual, I do not like this thing, so I don't care about it. I haven't bought a single Forza or Gran Turismo game ever, period. The Assassin's Creed Mirage. Assassin's Creed Mirage for me personally was the third good thing about the showcase, because I was waiting for an Assassin's Creed to go back to being Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed was a series I literally grew up with. Altair, Ezio, Bayek, Connor, Edward, all these assassins, all these characters I literally grew up with and thoroughly enjoyed. But the gameplay has shifted when we got into Origin, and I think it was great in Odyssey, but they kind of overdid it in Valhalla. So it was time for them to say, you know what? How about we don't do stat trees and stats and stuff like that and just have you stab a dude and kill him, you know? Back in the old days. So I'm excited for that. I can't wait to actually... It's been a long time since I've actually beaten an Assassin's Creed game because I could not get through all of Origin. I was at the tail end of Origin. I think I had like 2 missions left before I finished Origin. I didn't beat it. Odyssey, all the same. I only got halfway through Odyssey, and I couldn't even get a quarter. Hell, I wouldn't even say I got 10 minutes into Valhalla. So it would be great to actually play an Assassin's Creed game and play it, you know? Remember that Island 2 trailer? It was yeah. It was like the early 2000s. It was like the early 2000s or something like that. Like that's why I don't like. I think that's why a lot of people, not just myself, don't like CGI trailers, especially CGI trailers that don't give you a release date to the product you're making. I'm tired of you spending dev time making a short film instead of making the game, you know? Especially if that short film isn't gonna be in the game. That's like my least favorite thing. You have these people making like huge cinematic CGI trailers with a lot of noise and action and particle effects everywhere. But this cutscene that you made isn't in the actual main product of the game. It was like a thing for Blizzard for me in a while and in Overwatch. I'm like, all of these character like introductions and character stuff is amazing. Bastion's still my favorite to this day. Why is this not in like the game in like a section where you can just look at all the character introductions so people can know these characters like that? And don't even get me started with Overwatch 2 not having the PvE thing. I'm trying to get over that. Great. I just reminded myself of pain. Oh, Jesus Christ. Regardless, you know what I mean. Stop it with that. I'm personally tired of games being like, look at how good this is without actually it being good. Especially if it's like a top-down roguelike game and you have this like big cinematic set piece when you know the game's not actually going to be like that and stuff like that, you know. That one samurai-looking game that was in the showcase, it looks great. But just like Black Myth Wukong, I have no clue if it's actually ever going to really exist. So it's one of those situations where you have to give me a full vertical slice of your game, have a clear and concise release date, and if you don't have either of these things, don't let me know it exists. Because if I don't know it exists, I have no hype or interest in it since it's not in my memory to think about it. But now that you put it in my head, I'm just going to probably forget about it if it takes too long, and I probably won't care about it anymore because my standards would change. I don't know. Meanwhile, Elder Scrolls, yeah. Yeah, meanwhile, Elder Scrolls, remember that on it too. Lord goes insane as well. No, I never said Elder Scrolls will or wasn't anything that was complicated. Are you joking? Like, Oblivion alone holds more information about the universe than the entirety of every book I've ever read in school. Like, I understand both have very complicated lore. I'm not dogging on that. I'm just saying, as a Souls fan, I was just emphasizing the thing that I'm actually most interested in and actually know more about than Scrolls because I actually pay attention to Souls. Well, that's just it about whole thing about Konami and Kojima and all that sort of stuff. Like, for me personally, when people say, people usually say separate the art from the artist, but they never tend to actually abide by that statement whatsoever. As for me, if the Metal Gear Solid remake is good, I will buy it and I will play it and enjoy it as a game because I like the Metal Gear Solid franchise and I will play it. If they do not F it up, I will not like it. If Kojima's not a part of it, it will suck, but I would want to play the game. And unless it actually sucks and they did a terrible job, that is the only reason why I wouldn't get the game. I love Kojima. I think he's a great dude, and Death Stranding 2 looks like it's gonna be interesting. Even though I didn't play Death Stranding 1 because my life is a walking simulator. I don't need to play one. But the story in Death Stranding was interesting enough for me, and the visuals, you know, on like top tier and all this stuff like that. So don't get me wrong, I understand Kojima, but people need to understand Kojima has moved on. Kojima's literally doing his own thing right now. He is balling right now. He is literally in such a good place that he is doing whatever the hell he wants and having a good time. So constantly hating Konami for getting rid of them isn't going to change the fact that they're going to make Metal Gear games. They're going to outsource that property. And as long as that product is good, just like how I'm going to be getting Silent Hill 2 remake, I will get it. Now, if they F it up, fuck them. That's just it. They took Kojima out of Metal Gear Solid, but that's just it. Metal Gear Solid can exist without Kojima as long as they keep what made the Metal Gear Solid games good in general. Metal Gear Survive is a dumpster fire that I wish never existed, and I hate it. And it should never have existed, which is why that fits my mantra. They made a bad Metal Gear game. I didn't hate the Metal Gear game because it didn't have a Kojima. I hated the Metal Gear game because it was stupid. You see, there's a difference here, ladies and gentlemen. I make a point to avoid any and all trailers before release. Still barely know anything about the show race. That's good. To be perfectly honest, as a person who just wants to play Spider-Man 2, the entire section of a gameplay thing of it just makes me more confused. If anything, maybe they're gonna change a little bit because they did kind of change a little bit of another service. Yeah, exactly. Played safe slots like Konami. When they fuck up, fuck them. When they fuck up, fuck them. So if they fuck up this remake, fuck them. That's it. But right now, the remake looks good. Right now, let me have hope. Kojima's doing just fine making Death Stranding 2 or whatever the hell he's doing. And there have been rumors of things, and Kojima is following Konami on Twitter. There have been rumors that they've been patching up their relationship. That's great. Here's the thing. Kojima can exist without Konami, and Konami can exist without Kojima. Depending on what they're going to do with them being split off from each other is all about what they make and how you treat their product. That's it. I may not like Konami as a company, just like I don't like EA as a company and currently Blizzard and Activision as a company. But if they make good products that make me entertained, I will buy their product because that's the whole deal about that company. Yeah, and yes, it was about zombies. Back to the whole Spider-Man thing. So, interesting that they didn't want to show Venom, but instead show Peter with the symbiote suit. And apparently, right when he gets the symbiote suit, unless there's an entire section of the game where he and Miles don't interact at all. This heavily implies that he just got the symbiote suit, or always had it. We'll see what happens, because it is weird that Miles is just now seeing the suit, and it's already messing with Peter's personality. This was fast. Usually with the black suit, it's like an overtime effect, even if that overtime effect isn't inherently long. The fact that he's already extremely aggressive, I just can't wait until we fight Shocker. I really hope there's a reference. Imagine if Marvel's first movie was kicking out Stan Lee. Yeah, it would suck. If the movie's good, I'm still gonna watch it. I don't see how this is a very complicated situation. Arts and the art and the artist. I love Stan Lee, but if somebody makes a product that is still in legal terms their product and it's a good movie, I will say it's a good movie. Just because I say it's a good movie doesn't mean I still can't say fuck the company that did that to them. Good things can happen with shitty people. It may sound contradictory and weird, but that's the whole deal. We enjoy a lot of things on this planet, even though it's made by shitty people. In the end, it sucks. It's stupid. But if they make something good, I'm gonna play it. Please, just something like that. They made a pseudo reference in Spider-Man 1, where you try to stop the train, and he's like, man, I swear that worked last time. That's just a blatant Spider-Man 2 reference, and I thought that was great and funny. So if they have something along the lines of any hidden Columbos this season, I'm sure they might be. Liam really likes Columbo, and as someone who doesn't even know what Columbo is, good for him. But I'm pretty sure there might be somewhere around. Yeah. Just know that's Liam's thing. I don't put Columbo in anything. I don't even know what Columbo is. Redfall controversy. Look. I hate to say it. I hate to be that guy. But as soon as I saw Redfall as an opening cinematic trailer, I thought it was gonna be bad. I immediately thought it was gonna be bad. I said to myself, this is not gonna be good. This is gonna be mid at best and terrible at worst. Yeah. Just like the Gollum game. As soon as I saw the Gollum game, I'm like, why? No, this isn't gonna be good. This isn't gonna be good. And then they delayed it, and I'm like, this is gonna be terrible then. Because that's the whole thing about delayed games. People do that stupid quote of a delayed game is, a rush game is forever bad, and a delayed game, it can, or whatever. To me, I'm like, if you have the talent, make the game. Stop, just make your game. Take your time, make your game, make it good, have talent to do it. I don't care. I don't care about delays, I don't care about anything. Make your fucking game. That's why I hate delays. I hate delays because it's like, to me, as a consumer, you tell me as a consumer that we had an idea for a game, and we thought we were going to get it out at this time because we're competent, but it looks like we're not. We're not, actually. And even then, CD Projekt Red literally had a mantra of their game saying, it's ready when it's done. It clearly wasn't done, so, like, I feel lied to. I'm always feeling lied to. Just finish your games. Just make your games. You're gonna get your money if the game is finished and good. That's it. Yes, totally turn to Sonic 06. Totally turn to any game. Modern gaming is not actually modern gaming. Gaming has always been this way, where people make games, and if it's finished, it's usually good. If it's not, it's probably bad. Unless you're Todd Howard with, like, Skyrim and stuff like that in Oblivion, where you actually can release unfinished products and somehow it is still the second coming of Christ. You can't just keep getting away with that. And Phil Spencer, that's the CEO of Xbox or whatever, right? Him saying that us making good games for Xbox isn't gonna make people throw away their PS5s or anything like that. True. Because if someone has a PS5, they'll be stupid to throw it away because, one, it's hard to get this thing, and two, there's a lot of good games on PS5. I don't know why these console war things always have to boil down to, I need to get this only one console. I can have all three consoles. Guess what? Hold on. Guess what? I don't know if you guys can see that. Pretty okay. I have all three consoles. I have a Switch. I have a Switch. I have an Xbox. I have a PS5. Why? Because all three of them have something that I, as a person who likes playing video games, have. Games! Why do I need only to be a Nintendo guy? Why do I need only be a Sony guy? And Phil, my dude, I got an Xbox because of Game Pass, and Game Pass has a lot of good games, and let's just say Hi-Fi Rush was the one true time where I told myself, I'm happy I got an Xbox. Why? Because Hi-Fi Rush is a good game! So making good games for your freaking console will help people get your console. It doesn't mean you have to have them get rid of another person's console. They can have both. There is nothing wrong with having any of these consoles. It's so dumb. Whoever started that is an idiot. Come on. A rush game is bad. A rush game is bad for it. At least it was made. There you go. That's one way to look at it. Because it's like, a delayed game can still be bad, guys. Just because you delay a game doesn't automatically mean they're going to fix whatever problems were in the game. It just means they just want you to probably forget that the game was not ready to begin with. and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to the gaming space. But all I got to say about the gaming space is, I have a Switch and I'm enjoying Tears of the Kingdom. I have my PS5 and I enjoy God of War Ragnarok. I have a Xbox, and let's just say the only game I truly enjoyed was Hi-Fi Rush right now. My roommate has been trying to get me to play Halo for a while, and I'm just not a Halo dude. Yeah. Yeah, and Tears of the Kingdom was great. Duke Nukem game that took 13 years to make and still felt rushed. Yeah. It's like, something being delayed doesn't automatically give it the stamp of, oh, they're just trying to improve it. it could also mean that they fucked up, and they're trying also desperately to reach a deadline. Who's to say that them delaying it is just another form of rushing? Because they didn't meet their deadline. Like say I have a fight and I didn't reach my deadline, and then that means my deadline is now delayed for like 2 days or something like that. But let's say I only have 20 shots done when I have usually on average like 63. That means I have to rush still. There is no difference. Dead Island 2 took a long ass time to get made, and thankfully it's at least serviceable. According to reviews, it's a good game. So at least it didn't have the mantra of taking so freaking long that it's still bad. The Gollum game got delayed for 2 years, and it is now in the running to be first place as the worst video game of the year, right next to Redfall. Redfall and Gollum, 2 games that were delayed / given time, and not great. That's it. Personally speaking, I think Redfall and Gollum failed as games because really I don't see a Gollum game being good in any way, shape, or form, because Gollum isn't... I'm not going to call him an uninteresting character with an uninteresting way of doing gameplay, but I will say, out of all the people in Lord of the Rings that I would care about, Gollum's not one of them. And that's about it. As for Redfall, as soon as I saw it was going to be like a shooter Borderlands-esque with vampire kind of thing, I was like, this isn't... Ah, yes, the No Man's Sky defense. I hate that so much. Look, I love No Man's Sky. I think No Man's Sky is a really good game right now. I think they've done a really good job making that game as good as it is as of right now. But I still hate you, Todd. No, not Todd. I still hate you, Hello Games. I still hate you. Because now you've given a lot of developers this shield that they are able to bring in an unfinished product and with the promise of making it better in the future. When last time I checked, back in the old PS2 days, when I got Sly Cooper, when I got Sly 3, I didn't have to wait for several DLCs and several months of patches for it to be a good game, you know? Same goes for Jak and Daxter, same goes for Ratchet and Clank. When those games came out, they had this thing being, this weird little concept being called complete. So nowadays, modern gaming, I am not saying that the people in the development company saying it's hard to make games now. Fuck yeah, it's hard to make games now. That's why you should take longer to make them. Take as long as you need to make your game. That's it. Like, I see almost no reason as to why you shouldn't take as much time as you need to make your game good. Like, that's it. Same goes for, like, Overwatch and how much I hated that aspect. They're like, we have an idea for PvE content for this game. This is why we have a 2 at the end of the title. This is going to define this game. And I'm sitting here after year 1 saying, this is never going to come out. This is not going to come out. If it would... they didn't even give us, like a roadmap of when it's going to come out. They didn't even do this thing where, like, we're going to have 8 characters at launch and have those be the talent trees and no sense, and then subsequently start to release more people over time. They didn't even do that. They instead just gave you the PvP, and that's it. So I'm like, this is... No, this is never coming out. And would you look at that a year or something later from that initial course, and I was right. And I hate being right. I hate it. Because I have usually a pessimistic view on things, and whenever I'm right, I realize, man, the world does in fact suck. Is that supposed to be an atom? It's supposed to be something that I drew. Hey, David. Long time no see. Good to see you. Just having one cup of water spill away from a mental breakdown. In my opinion, I don't really think you need DLC or paid content to make it. Well, no shit. No shit. Remember the early 2000s? That's exactly what I was talking about. Dark, this has never been necessary. It's never been necessary in the past. Like almost at all. A game was a game, and it came out, and it was done, and it was good, or serviceable or passable. But it was done. It was what the developers intended to make on jump. That's it. Nowadays, it feels as though that they need DLC to do it. They need to have extra content and paid content to do it. And it's dumb. That was never... Hi-Fi Rush is a game-ass game. Hi-Fi Rush is a game you pick up, beat shit with a guitar made of garbage, and have fun. You didn't need the expansion pass of the return of Handsome Jack 2 or some shit like that. You just needed a good game. All right, later, Pan. Can I ask, as an artist, what is the thing you despise drawing the most, but have draw a lot anyways? Armor and hats. This has been a running gag with me on my Discord from people who know me, that I hate drawing armor and I hate drawing hats. I don't know why I have such a hard time drawing heads with hats on them. Like something about the head bothers me whenever I draw a hat on it. And I think it's just all about the style that I have, and that it's dumb. Yes, essentially. There's been many moments of me doing like my stuff on DeviantArt where I had to draw a character with a hat or armor, and for some reason it was the worst shit I ever had to do in my entire life. Oh yeah, no, it was oh god, oh Jesus Christ. When you guys, hopefully you're on my Twitter, because if you're on my Twitter, then you see my storyboards there. Once Dovahkiin versus Chosen Undead comes out, and I upload my boards, you'll see just how much I tried in the beginning and how much I just stopped giving a fuck near the end of the fight. Like, that's a lot. It's kind of like what happened with Yoda versus King Mickey, where in the beginning of the fight, I tried my best to make like Yoda like really detailed, and then I just started to slowly but surely just make him an egg. So yeah, no, you're gonna get a lot of that. Yeah. Right now, I'm trying to be a degenerate again when it comes to my storyboards. And what I mean by that is, who here remembers the fact that I constantly put dabs in my shit for literally no other reason than because I thought it was unironically funny to put a dab in something? It had nothing to do with Zoomer humor or for the kids. I still hold a lot of pride in getting the four-way dab in with Machamp versus Goro. That was all me, and I'm so happy that they were able to get that in. Like, super happy. No, I'm not bringing the dabs back. I need to evolve. I need to grow. I need to do something. I need to do something better. I need to do something more stupid. I need to do something that other people are gonna point out it's dumb and stupid and no one likes it and you should stop. I'm doing a lot of Peter Griffin death poses lately. So, yeah. Whenever someone gets knocked to the ground or has like a dead body somewhere, Peter Griffin death pose. That's my new thing. I might throw a dab in somewhere or another place. I've also been doing T poses. Like I the fact that I get away with this sometimes is very hilarious to me. Like, yeah, no, I won't do something like that. Like, I will not default dance. I will not floss. I will not, no dances, essentially. It's just an action. A thing that is going to just sit there and you're going to be like, I did it. T-posing, Peter Griffin death pose, and a dab. Something you're going to see for, like, maybe a few frames. But, yeah, I'm doing that now. Also, a fun thing that I can actually talk about because people already know it exists, so that's fun. Bill Cipherboard's Discord is going to be fun whenever I have to get into, boarding for that fight. Since it's going to be, like, Discord versus Bill, I actually have an excuse to try to sneak in my OC in there somewhere. I can try to sneak in Derpy in somewhere. I can try to sneak in things I actually like about, MLP into that fight, even if it makes absolutely no sense why it's there. Because that's the whole thing about this fight. Nothing makes sense. So putting something in there that makes no sense, whether it's regarded as appropriate or not, is gonna be fun. That's gonna be great. New Kong show? No. Well, actually, yes, I did hear about it. Someone posted something on it on my Discord. I just don't care much for it because the MonsterVerse right now isn't anything special to me at this current point in time. Granted, I will probably watch the new Godzilla vs. Kong with that orangutan-looking motherfucker in that trailer. But yeah. I will do my best to put as many references to things of MLP as possible, because I have no clue when another MLP character is ever going to show up ever in Death Battle. So with that being said, Bill Cyber's Discord is going to be like very reference heavy if I can get away with it. What's the one thing I'm excited for in 2023? I guess Spider-Man 2. Like there's really nothing I can think about that's like Final Fantasy. New Final Fantasy game looks great. I want to say Street Fighter 6 as well. Yeah, because I'm excited. As I said in the beginning of the stream, I'm excited for Street Fighter 6. Very excited. Yeah. But is it the one thing I'm excited for? Not really. Like that's just it. There's a lot of stuff this year. This year is actually stacked. Especially when you're a fighting game fan. And while I'm not a full-on, like, oh man, Tekken, oh man, Street Fighter, oh man, Mortal Kombat, oh my god, I do like the IPs. I'm not a professional fighting game dude. Most people online can kick my ass. I like it for the characters, story, hopefully anything that revolves around, like, progressing of, like, combat mechanics and shit like that, but I'm not gonna say that I'm like a tournament standard dude in any of these games. I just really like the IPs. But yeah, as for every new fighting game that's coming out, apparently, yeah, no, I guess I can say I'm excited for those as a collective. Is there another kaiju fight I'd like to see? I like to see Kong. Kong versus somebody. I don't know who. Wait, actually, I think I remember pitching Rathalos versus Mothra or something. I think it was Rathalos versus Mothra due to the fact that Rathalos is considered the king of the skies and Mothra is considered the mother of the earth. They're both giant flying beasts of major destruction. The only thing about Mothra is the size is very inconsistent. It's a giant monster. I don't know how it doesn't count as a kaiju. Like I don't know why kaijus need to be only like how is Kong a kaiju? He's a giant ape. Giant in comparison to you? Yes. And also, do we have so when you watch Shin Godzilla, and Shin Godzilla is the small little fetus-looking thing, it doesn't reach kaiju status until it reaches actual Shin Godzilla size. Like, kaiju just means giant monster. It is big to you. That means it is a kaiju. It's a big monster. I don't know why people have to gatekeep what is and isn't a giant monster. It's actually kind of dumb. And regardless, you said kaiju fight. I have Mothra in there, so whether Rathalos is a kaiju or not, I still have a kaiju fight. A kaiju is in there to fight. So if you're gonna be freaking technical, there you go. Also, question: have you played Sonic Frontier? Yeah, I platinumed Sonic Frontiers. I present the argument for that remake of his Death Battle. Shin Godzilla tail be thick. Not to mention, yeah, Shin Godzilla was apparently gonna make little versions of him, little versions of himself that were humanistic and I'm not gonna delve into Shin Godzilla lore. Uh, Regardless, I present the argument for that remake of his death battle. So Sonic Frontiers and Sonic, I'm gonna be honest, nothing that I saw in the game really elevated Sonic any further than he already kind of is. So, personally speaking, I don't, like, for me, if you're gonna ask me my opinion of, like, Mario versus Sonic, or anything, I have my own grievances with that fight, but when it comes to, like, buffs that Frontiers gave Sonic, it isn't really anything impressive. You can highball some stuff, yeah, but it's something Sonic hasn't already done, really. Like, what, Chaos, tell me something in Sonic Frontiers that has elevated Sonic beyond the Solaris feat. Mount Lady almost is a gag fight. Deanne versus Mount Lady. Yeah, okay. I can see that. Because I like Sonic Frontiers. I just don't think Sonic is any more powerful than he already is. If anything, it kind of nerfs some stuff about Super Sonic, and that it can apparently be destabilized with equipment, which is weird enough. It's already weird enough that Knuckles can literally punch him out of invincibility, so I'm just gonna ignore that. Any thoughts on Cole Alex, other than the fact that it's my most wanted death battle, that's in, like, third place of most wanted death battles of all time? Yeah, that. I can't speak about My Hero Academia, because if I talk about My Hero Academia, I might hurt some people's feelings, so I think it's better for me to just say My Hero Academia is happening. Is happening. It is surely a manga that is being written by a dude who really wants to end his series. That sword, man. Mario has never lifted something that heavy before. It proves that his upper limit of strength is much higher for weapons than just lifting things. And he focused good disarm to him. Okay, so the Psy-Loop. It's just making a circle, and then wind happens. Mario has Cappy, so if we're gonna have, like, good countermeasures here, what's stopping Mario from placing his cap on Sonic's head and possessing his body? Just throwing it out there. And let's get rid of Cappy. Screw Cappy. He doesn't have his head. He lost it. Mario, on multiple occasions, has showcased he can contest with Bowser in strength by knocking him senseless and knocking him around, meaning that he is comparable in strength with Bowser. Bowser has consistently punched giant castles and done many things that are heavy in the strength calculations. There's also a lot of feats and scaling of many things in Mario Galaxy in particular that means that it doesn't matter if he can lift up a sword. It doesn't mean anything. The Solaris feat is the most impressive thing because Sonic, Silver, and Shadow were destroying Solaris in the past, present, and future, which would mean that you would probably have to scale them to infinitely fast to be able to essentially fight them through time like that. So I don't see how lifting a sword and a Psy-Loop are anything different than anything he already has. Again, I'm not saying that Mario still wins. I personally believe that Sonic beats Mario. I personally believe that. But I don't feel as though that those things that Sonic gets in the new game gives him any better opportunity for Death Battle to change their minds from their from what they basically already said. Like, unless Sonic gets Archie scaling in his games, like there's a game that blatantly says that Archie is the Sonic that we're playing as, I don't think the Sonic is going to get any stronger than he already is. and Mario movie Sonic, Mario movie Mario versus movie Sonic. Yeah, movie Sonic has it mostly because, um, from the looks of things, Sonic is blatantly faster, like straight up. Like there is no contesting who's faster in that regard, which is a big selling point on who's the real winner here. Mario has literally nothing to really hurt Sonic. One, due to the fact of the speed. Two, due to the fact of the powers that he has isn't anything that Sonic has, one, seen coming or can just dodge, as he showcased with all of Dr. Eggman's weaponry. And lastly, let's compare their super forms. So if we're giving Mario the star, as we know, the star has a limited time. A limited time. Here's the funny thing about the Sonic movie. The Sonic movie actually has not given us a definitive Sonic has a time limit in that form. If anything, they show that he just can be in the form and can get out of it whenever. I could be wrong about this. It has been a while since I've seen Sonic 2, but there was never a mention that Sonic needs to have rings in his body to sustain the form. He wasn't fatigued after getting out of it. There was no real signs of him having a time limit. He was just in the form and he was in it. So to tell you the truth, yeah, no, Sonic has it. Especially if they don't like contradict anything in like the third Sonic movie that's coming out. If the third Sonic movie just once again shows them going to super forms with no time limit, he just wins. there is no debate. I also want to say separate from that and Frontiers actually made me sad. Okay, see playing. Yeah. I actually can't wait for the DLC. The DLC is gonna be interesting. Like really, if you want to give like buffs to anybody, I think the main person who actually got buffed was Eggman with Sage. Sage being with Eggman, if Eggman's fight ever comes out, like that's a good thing for him. Sage is a good buff for Eggman. So if there's anyone you should say that it got a buff from Sonic Frontiers, it's definitely Eggman who made Sage. Due to the fact that Sage is able to manipulate the kaiju, the giant robots, the giant robots with her power, and cyberspace has been stated to be an alternate like dimension / like infinite space, or a space that can be comprised of its own like dimensional like tiering. So the fact that Sage can adapt and manipulate these things on that level is very impressive for tech of Eggman. That's about it. So we reached the hour mark, and as I said, I can't really do this for that long. I still really need to get back into that other thing I need to get done. So unless you have something else to really talk about within the next 10 minutes, do so quickly, and then we'll see each other probably 2 weeks from now, because I don't think I'm gonna do this next week. Also, it's actually confirmed he can stay in Leon's Sonic 2 movie. Tails specifically says he's given up the power after Sonic. Well, there you go. See, it's been a while since I watched the movie, and see, there you go. Sonic can just be super. Movie Sonic is actually probably stronger than game Sonic, at least in forms of the first 3 games, because of the fact he doesn't have a time limit. That's it. Like, he's still basically invincible. He just doesn't have. He's invincible with no time limit. That is scary. Which fight I voted for the ballot? Cole and Alex and Bill Cipher Discord. Like, I love Infamous. Infamous is one of my favorite gaming franchises that I'm still to this day upset hasn't had another release. Prototype less so, but I did platinum Prototype 1 and Prototype 2, so I am still also a Prototype fan. But I wouldn't want a third game. I don't think a third game is necessary. But Infamous though, definitely would like another Infamous game. Cole is one of my favorite protagonists in fiction, I guess to say. Director also said that Sonic was specifically trying to kill Eggman being super. I don't see how that matters to the grander scheme of things. It just makes Sonic sort of a psychopath, but sure, cool. He does have matter manipulation. That is something that's very different from actual Supersonic. At least from what I know of the games. I haven't known much about Archie. He probably can do some dumb shit like that too. But the fact that him making a chili dog from nothing shows that he has matter creation is actually very important. Like, this Supersonic is actually cracked. So yeah, he definitely beats Mario. Because it is blatant that the star is still a temporary power-up. So if we're talking invincibility versus invincibility, it's the one without the time limit that's going to win. But yeah. I think that's gonna be it. All right, cool. So is that it? I'm gonna guess this is about as much as we've devolved into. So if there's nothing else to really talk about aside from how Sonic, the Sonic movie Sonic beats Mario movie Mario, I think we can end things off here. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, as always, it's good to always talk to you guys. It's just never uh, convenient sometimes when it comes to my personal weekends. But now that Death Battle's back, we can just start doing that now. So yeah, cool. See you guys later.